to the Senior Hour, which is sponsored by Comfort Keepers in Home Care and Advanced Audiology. I'm Barbara Cochran with my co-host,
Dr. Jean Dorio.
on your hometown station, 98.1 FM, AM 1220, KHTS. This is a show for, about, and by seniors, giving information to enhance one's quality of life. And our in-studio guest this morning for the first half is Shannon Avazian with Assisted Living Locators. Welcome.
Thank
It's good
you.
to see you
Shannon.
again.
Good to see you.
Yeah, we've been all seeing a lot of each other lately as we were at the celebrity waiter dinner.
That's right.
And you had a table, Barb.
Yes,
Yes,
I
you
did.
did.
And
Yes.
it was a
It
great
was
event,
called,
wasn't it?
It was called the Royal Butlers.
The Royal Butler.
Everyone there had white shirts, black pants, and bow ties.
Mhm.
We were butlers,
Yeah,
absolutely.
I had a top hat.
Yes, you
like
did.
like a Lincoln hat.
And our
And
server.
I had it, it said the Royal Butler, and Robin said you should just get rid of the L-E-R.
We had a great butler
Mhm.
on serving our table. He was also with the bow tie, the white
That was cool.
shirt, and the black pants. And we all had script, which we had to buy food for.
And it was at
And,
the senior center.
Yes, it was.
It was
and
so
that-
elegant.
It
That
really was.
room
And
was
so well planned. I think
Yes.
Julie and Amanda put that thing together with the committee you were on.
yes.
It was wonderful.
It really, really was. It was so well done. It's the best they have ever had.
The best, by far. And the
And-
food.
Oh, the food was outstanding. Except as we were talking about earlier, the dessert was that chocolate. Oh, to die for. But there was too much of it. They could have cut it in half. Because I took 2 bites and I thought, ugh, I can't eat
was-
anymore because it was so rich.
90% chocolate,
Oh,
I think.
It was the whole evening was fantastic.
And it was
really
a fundraiser, and we need to continue and assure that our older adults here in Santa Clarita have a place to go.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Exactly. I could not agree more. And you are in the assisted living business.
I am.
Yes.
And I was there too with Oakmont. It's
Yes,
beautiful.
that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Thank you for them.
So tell us about what you do.
So I am we refer to as a placement agent, and a lot of people don't know that we exist. And what we do is we advise our seniors on what their options are. This day and age, people may not know what's out there. And so we try and educate everybody on, whether it's in-home health care that's coming into them so they can stay in their home as long as possible. Or, maybe they need an assisted living. Or, maybe they're doing great and they just want to give up the house and go to independent living. There's lots of different options, including memory care. So it's just basically educating our community on what it is, what's the options. And
and
it's
the-
a free service, so there is no cost to the seniors. I get paid through my marketing efforts through the different homes that I work with, and just try and be that resource for the community.
And of course, the preference is for every older adult, every senior that I know, they want to stay in their home.
Absolutely.
They don't want to move out of their home, leave their community, leave their friends, their church, their schools, their grandkids sometimes. They want to stay in their home the best they can. And that is not an easy task, but it sometimes comes down to the individual, but sometimes, a lot of times, it comes down to the caregivers of those individuals. They're the ones who are recognizing that mom and dad can't stay in their home anymore, and we have to assure their safety and well-being and their health to make sure they're in the right place. That is not an easy task, trying to find the options. People don't understand, and you do, Shannon, that's the important part of this, that you understand what people are looking for. You dissect through what their needs are, what their wants are, and figure out and contour their whole situation to finding them a good place.
Yeah, and it's really difficult when you're maybe going through a crisis and you don't know where to go, and we have lots of different options if you have money, but what happens for the families that don't have a high income? And so I like to be able to be that resource where I do have resources for you. I do have options. I, you know, I can't help everybody, but I try my best to work with all different levels of income. And there are options, and I think that's really important to know. And it's just, reaching out and finding out what those options are.
And especially the people turn around and say, "You mean you want to send me to a nursing home?" And that's
No. No.
that's typically and usually not in the minds of any senior I've ever known.
Right.
Unfortunately or fortunately, they've been relabeled skilled nursing facilities, rehab centers, but the truth about it is you're going to a nursing home.
Right.
And, once we bring them up to par for a good living situation, nothing substitutes better than going home.
Absolutely.
That's really true. And I have a girlfriend who's in a Bourdon care, and there are 6 of them there. And she loves it. She loves it because it's a small home environment.
Absolutely.
And everybody gets to eat together. They sit and chat, and she's really, really comfortable
Thriving,
with
yeah.
it. And
I-
we're so happy about it.
Yeah, I had a client yesterday that was at one of the bigger communities, and the level of care, he's not getting the level of care necessarily that he needs, right, because of the ratio. And so we were able to find the perfect boarding care, and just it's a blessing to be able to serve my families in the way that I do.
Absolutely.
And that's really my
Absolutely.
priority, and I wouldn't take any of my families anywhere. I wouldn't place my own family. That's my guide. Would I want my family here? And I check safety records, financials, all of that. I'm going to be there to help advise.
So you are aware of the various Bourdon care homes in
We
Santa
have
Clarita?
over 200 of them. And people don't know because they are not the big communities that can afford an advertising fund.
No, and they're
So
homes.
that's what I do. I advertise for them, in a way where I'm marketing for them.
Yes.
So when you think of 200, and if you just do a Google search, they're not going to pop up in the
They
way
don't.
that you need them to, in a clear-cut way. So with one phone call to me, I'm going to direct you probably to the top 3, and you're going to be saved hours of time. Because, I'm going to take you to my top 3, and you're going to be able to usually pick one within a
Well,
quick.
now, how does one become an owner of a Bourdon care home?
That's a great question.
Say my house. I'm living alone in my house, and it's a big house. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 possible bedrooms.
Right. I can't really talk about that because I'm not an owner. I've never started up a boarding care, but they're licensed through social services. So your
Okay.
first call would be to them, and then they would tell you on, what's the process to open up boarding care.
And it is a heavy duty process. Understand
Oh,
that
yeah.
they are caring for usually older adults, and the state and the county has to be particular
Absolutely.
in assuring that those residents who are going there
Are safe.
they're safe, have good food, that it's healthy and clean and hygienic and all of that.
Yeah.
So there's hoops to jump through for those who are thinking about licensing. You have to make sure you have ramps. You have to
Yeah,
make
they
sure you
do.
have qualified individuals. You have to have a certain kitchen and safety factors.
Criminal
that
background
They do a criminal
checks.
background and things like that. So there's a lot of things that that one must do to get a license. But that assures you that your loved one is going to be taken care of. But even beyond that, though, there are times where you have to go in and look. You have to go in and smell. You have to
Oh,
go in
absolutely.
and touch. You have to go in and ask questions. You have to do that no matter what, because you never know what might fall through the cracks.
Right.
So, and you have to ask people, how do you like living here, or their family members, how do you like your family living here.
Right,
So
and
they're-
that's what I like to do. I actually tour with my families, much like a real estate agent would. I pick them up. We spend, 3 hours if need be, and we really go through and experience that. And I go there to be an advisor with them because sometimes they're not asking the questions that, maybe they're under stress and they're forgetting. So, and it's so important, like you said, to really see what the home's environment's like. Are the other residents like-minded? Are they alert? Are they not? Do they need more care? And what is the client I'm working with? Do they, are they very social? Then I'm going to take them to the more social boarding cares that I know of, where they're going to be a better fit.
Yeah.
Because the last thing we want to do is move and then move again.
Well, it's interesting because when we were trying to find a place for Gloria, we went to two of them. And the young woman who the family had contracted with, like you, they took us to two places. And they were completely different. Completely different. And what was interesting is one of my girlfriends was living in one of those, and I didn't even know she was there.
Wow.
She's a member of our Daughters of the British Empire.
Wow.
And
Wow.
she's wheelchair bound. And I told her, I said, we're having a meeting in a couple of weeks. I'll pick you up and bring you, because I have the wheelchair.
Yeah.
I can put it in my car, and she can be assisted out to the car, and we'll go to the meeting, which
Cool.
will be at one of the restaurants along
That's
here.
wonderful.
But it was such a shock to see her there.
Yeah.
I thought, "Gee, I don't believe it." But now the group we're in, we're going to make contact with her, and she will be
That's wonderful.
beside herself.
Well, you got to think about if we have a senior living at home and they need that in home, and then all of a sudden their needs become more. What does that cost? It can cost up to $18,000 to $20,000 if you require 24-hour care at home. So
More than that, I
it-
know, because I went
know,
through it.
I know. And in a boarding care, you can probably, I've actually found families for $2,000, and then all the way up to, probably 55 to 6,000. But that's a safe range, and when you look at it, that's 24-hour care. They're in a home, and they're being providing care for them. They're being dressed, bathed, meals prepped, all of that. So when you have to look at, can we afford the in-home care? Because that's our first choice for all of us. And then the second is, okay, what can we afford? And then we start looking at our options.
That's right. And one of the things that I did, and I think I've shared this with you before, is against Russ's wishes, I got long-term care insurance. And it paid a third of the bill.
So important.
And that was amazing. It really was. And I have it for myself. And it'll help me. Although Russ's investments will take care of me for the rest of my life, which is what he wanted.
Right.
But it also helped take care of him.
Absolutely.
Because I had to eventually have 24/7 in-home care for him. Because I couldn't do it. I absolutely couldn't do it. But these ladies were wonderful. I had them in 3 shifts. And it was fantastic. It really
It's
was.
amazing.
Really was. And they were all
And that's a service. Thank you for their service as
yes,
well.
yes, because they did a wonderful job. They really did. And I was able to come and go and be active and do what I wanted to do, knowing that he was taken care of at home.
Absolutely.
And then they would come with us when I took him out, which I did every day. I took him somewhere, even if it was just a ride in the car around the block.
And in my journey, my late husband, about 10 years ago, he passed away, and we had him at home. I was, 31 years old. I had a 3-year-old and a 5-year-old, and he was diagnosed with brain cancer. So I took care of my little ones. I took care of him. We didn't have any of that, so I was the only caregiver. And we had hospice coming in at the end, but they only come in, maybe 2 times a week. And so I really identify with my families and what they're going through. And at the same time, my mother was terminal, and we took care of his grandmother, who was 83 years old. So I was the only caregiver for all 3 of them. So, when you talk about being in crisis mode, I do understand, and I want to be that support. And I have so many families that call me now, and they're just like, thank you. You know, because they know that it's going to be taken care of, and they
Yes.
don't need to ask. I'm just going to go ahead and take care of what needs to be taken care of for them.
And that's so great for families to know, because it's, oh, I don't have to worry about it anymore.
Right. I've got someone on my team. We have a team of doctors. We have a team, you know, and it's all about, you know, connecting with the right people and, you know, being connected and having the right advisors in your life, whether
Right.
it's personal or financial or, you know, and in this arena, we're senior advisors.
That's
So,
right.
And I
Well,
think
it's-
people should not be afraid to call you because of the costs. They should first identify what their options are and then see what the costs are, because you don't want your loved one to be stuck.
Right.
And sometimes their greatest nightmare might come true where they're shipped off to a nursing home because we haven't preventively done something to help protect them before something happens. So they should call,
Right.
despite the monies we've
The
been
fear.
talking about,
Yeah.
because I think our society is learning to have a safety net for many people, and there could be financial resources to help lots of individuals out who might not even have long-term care insurance, but might have something, they're a veteran or
Veteran.
something that will change their ability to get into a place that they can be taken care of.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because a lot of people think, oh, I'll just go on, it's Medi-Cal. They'll just go on a Medi-Cal, you know, when the time comes. Well, you know, there's 100 people on that waiting list.
Yeah.
So it doesn't necessarily work that easy. Like, oh, I just elect to go in. You know, there's a procedure. You know, so I also help people in that mode when they're preparing to go on that list and to go that direction. But what do we do in the meantime if mom needs 24-hour
Right.
care? And sometimes, you know, we can supplement. You know, family members are able to pitch in a little extra and be in a nicer home. You know, a care home is what I'm referring to, not a nursing home. And I'm telling you, it's night and day. You know,
Night and day.
our seniors are still, you know, they're living their best life. They're thriving the best they can
That's
in
right.
a home environment, not
And
not
that
a
is so
nursing home.
important. I know visiting Gloria, she's happy.
Yeah,
She's around people.
social. Yeah.
Yes, and that is so critical
Yeah.
as you get older.
Yeah.
It's so easy. It'd be easy for me to just stay at
the
home with my kitty
depression.
cat
Right.
and sit in my chair and watch television all
Yeah.
day long.
Yeah.
That would be the easiest thing I could do. But I can't do that. I know better.
Right.
If I do that, I will go downhill.
Start shutting down. Yeah.
Yes, I will. That's why I'm out and about doing things. And my kids call, Mom, are you doing okay?
Aw.
You know, and I'll call you tomorrow.
I'm
And they
busy.
do. They
Yeah.
call me
Yeah.
every single day
That's
to see how
wonderful.
I'm doing. Because they're in Palmdale and I'm down here and I'm alone in a house with a kitty cat. And my kitty cat's getting older. I'm not looking forward to that, but so far, so good. She's an absolute sweetheart.
That's wonderful.
Oh, it really is. Well, Shannon, how can we get in touch with you?
The best way
you-
is, you know, I always say, just call me at 661-544-1004. Or if you're, you know, internet and want to go that route, it's assistedlivinglocators.com. And you could just put in the zip code and it'll pull me right.
Terrific, terrific. Well, thank you so much for
Thank you.
joining
Thank you,
us.
Shannon.
Thank
Thank you
Very,
again.
very valuable information.
Really appreciate being here with you too.
And we'll see you again soon.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you. I'm Barbara Cochran with my co-host, Dr. Jean Dorio, on your hometown station, 98.1 FM, AM 1220, KHTS.
Daily Imprints is the premier one-stop shop for custom embroidery, screen printing, and promotional products in the Santa Clarita Valley. Owners Joe and Dana have provided KHTS with quality embroidered company shirts for over 3 years. If it's new business cards or promotional products you need to enhance your image, Daily Imprints is the choice for you. Located on Lyons Avenue, stop by or call today, 661-678-0508.
We all know sometimes people lose their way. If you or someone you know is struggling with addiction, the Way Out Recovery SCV may have the answers you've been waiting for. The Way Out is the premier intensive outpatient treatment center serving Santa Clarita. Asking for help is the first step. Call The Way Out today, 661-296-4444. That's 296-4444 for a private free assessment. The Way Out is an accredited, affordable outpatient program that accepts most insurance. Call us at 661-296-4444 or check us out online at thewayoutrrecoveryscv.com. Quit battling with yourself. Ask The Way Out for help today.
Comfort Keepers provides your loved one with loving in-home care.
Miles McNamara, certified senior advisor and owner of Comfort Keepers in-home care.
Our caregivers can help you in your own home, enhancing independence, creating safety and comfort. Our Comfort Keepers provide companionship, meal preparation, medication reminders, assistance with personal care, and even transportation to doctor's appointments. If someone you love can use a helping hand at home, visit comfortkeepers.com.
Or call 287-4200.
At Advanced Audiology, we know how important hearing is to you, your loved ones, your work success, your safety, and your ability to stay in the game. Most people won't admit hearing loss to themselves or others. We make it easy for you. Today's digital hearing aids come in a variety of styles, including invisible. All feature-rich, providing unparalleled hearing quality, wearing comfort, and automation that simplifies your life. Don't be fooled by our imitators. There's only one Advanced Audiology with the purple sign next to AAA on Valencia Boulevard.
Yesterday, December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in infamy.
We salute our veterans who sacrificed for our freedom.
Santa Clarita veteran Bill Reynolds.
Each week, we share an inspirational story of a local veteran on our Hometown Heroes page at hometownstation.com, thanks to our good friends at Eternal Valley.
I'm Richard Nunnally, General Manager of Eternal Valley Memorial Park and Mortuary. We believe taking care of each other is what community is all about. We're proud to bring you the stories of our hometown heroes.
Eternal Valley, life well celebrated.
I'm Dr. Travis Stork, host of The Doctors, here to talk to you about the coronavirus COVID-19. There's currently no vaccine to prevent coronavirus. The best way to prevent illness is to avoid being exposed to this virus. Wash your hands often with soap and water for at least 20 seconds, especially after going to the bathroom, before eating, and after blowing your nose, coughing, or sneezing. If soap and water are not readily available, use an alcohol-based hand sanitizer with at least 60% alcohol. And if you think you may have been exposed to COVID-19, please contact your healthcare provider immediately. For more information about the coronavirus, log on to cdc.gov.
Super Tuesday 2020 election results.
This is Michael Brown with the KHTS News Team here with your Super Tuesday results. With just under 94% of precincts reporting, looks like Senator Bernie Sanders is set to take California with just under a third of the vote. Joe Biden coming in second place with just over 24%. Candidate Mike Bloomberg has indeed dropped out of the race, leaving just Bernie Sanders and Joe Biden as the top two contenders for the Democratic Party. With 100% of precincts reporting, it looks like we are preliminarily able to call the 25th Congressional District race. Christy Smith and Mike Garcia are set to face each other, both of them coming in first and second place respectively in both the special and regular election. Smith had this to say after learning the results.
I'd like to say thank you to all the voters in the 25th Congressional District. What an amazing turnout. The votes are still coming in, but I'm really pleased to be moving on in both the special election and the primary to represent California's 25th. Today, as always, my leadership and service will be about what's best for the people of the communities that I serve, and so pleased to have so many voters in support of that. Thanks.
The 21st State Senate District, incumbent Scott Wilk will be running off against Democrat Kip Miller, who came in with just under 17% of the vote. With 100% of precincts reporting, looks like Suzette Martinez Valladares will be facing fellow Republican Lucy Lapointe Volotsky for the 38th Assembly District come November. Additionally, it looks like Measure 13 was shot down by the voters, with 56% of California citizens voting no on that. On top of that, looks like Measure US for the Sulphur Springs School District was also shut down, with 58% of the vote going to no. We're going to keep updating you on what's going on. We still have some precincts patients trickling in their results, so make sure you stay tuned here, 98.1 FM, AM 1220, and make sure you head on over to hometownstation.com for full election results.
Your hometown station.
Will you still need me? Will you still feed me when I'm 64?
Welcome back to the Senior Hour. I'm Barbara Cochran with my co-host, Dr. Jean Dorio, on your hometown station, 98.1 FM, AM 1220, KHTS. And our guest now is from Advanced Audiology, and it is Steve Lettau. Welcome, Steve.
Well, thank you, Barbara. I'm glad to be here. I don't get to come as often as I'd like, but it's great to see you both.
Terrific.
Thank
and
you.
what did you think about Saturday night's celebrity waiter dinner?
Well, it was kind of funny. Nola and I talked about that. I was dressed as a king, and she was dressed as a queen. And I said, we're like the English monarchy, where the king always serves the queen.
She loved that, didn't she?
Yes, I know which side of the bread is buttered for sure.
Lovely.
Good for you,
But it was a
Steve.
wonderful evening. It
a
really
great-
was.
There's so many wonderful nonprofits, and like our senior center, Bella Vista, is just wonderful. What a beautiful place.
Yes.
You know, it's
I had
wonderful. I
that
had a
event.
great time, and I thought the celebrity waiters were great too.
That they really were, and to be able to hold it at the senior center, that's what's so neat. You know, didn't have to pay thousands of dollars to rent another place to hold it, which is what's happened, many, many years. Now we have our own home.
Right, it's
Bella
beautiful.
Vista.
I mean, it provides all the services that we as seniors, and of course I fall in that category myself, being 75. It's just a wonderful place, and the meal was great too.
Oh, it was. It was delicious. Really was.
I don't know if I should give a plug to the Junction, but it was really good.
And so was the dessert.
Oh, it was very, very good.
Except there was too much of it. They
Yeah.
could have cut those pieces in half.
Right, for sure.
Oh,
Oh, my
it was
gosh, the
delicious.
chocolate cake.
Oh.
Yes, that was good.
Oh. So what are we talking about today,
Well, what I
Steve?
want to talk about is I'm really on a mission. I'm on a mission every single day to help Santa Clarita hear better, because we know how it affects people's social lives. What happens is people, they start to interiorize, and they stop doing the things that they love. They stop going to church because they're embarrassed, because they can't hear people. They go to restaurants, they can't hear a thing. And then it starts to affect the family. And, now that Nola and I are marriage counselors, we're able to, that's a joke. We actually help people's relationships so they start to communicate again,
Yes.
because
Right.
communication is
Absolutely.
the universal solvent.
It is. Well, you truly are marriage counselors in that respect.
Opening up communication is
Yes.
what you're referring to, and being able to recognize that someone might have a problem when communication doesn't exist. And if people will look at their vision, they will look at mobility, they'll look at side effects from medication, but not always do they recognize that hearing and a lack of hearing could be contributing to a person's slow downfall. And so we have to know that when you have a loved one who might be reading your lips, where they might be, the television might be louder, or they're saying, what'd you say, a lot, you have to recognize that there could be a problem. And yeah, it could be something simple like earwax, but beyond that, it could be something that is going to be detrimental to that individual in the long run to their quality of life.
Well, I agree with you, Gene. That a lot of times, especially like preschoolers and things like that, there's misdiagnosis because they think that there's learning disabilities that are there. Or with seniors, they think that there's dementia or Alzheimer's that's there, and it's not. It's just that they can't hear. I remember a story a guy was telling me one time. He was at the airport, and this TSA agent was getting very angry with this man because the problem was the guy couldn't hear. And he kept yelling at him, and he started to get really abusive with the guy. And the guy finally said to him, "He can't hear you." And the guy settled right down.
Yeah, there you go.
So that's the type of thing that we want to make sure that people can communicate, or for preschoolers, they don't get misdiagnosed.
Now, for years and years, Advanced Audiology has provided free screening tests for the Santa Clarita community. And we need to make sure that in your quest to make sure people understand that a deficit in hearing could be a problem, that you can help those individuals in our community who might end up suffering because of it by going to the office and getting that test.
Well, we'd love to do that, and we're located at 23822 Valencia Boulevard, Suite 103. Look for the purple sign. We're right next to AAA. But every year we increase the amount of free screenings. About 3 or 4 years ago, we did 1,500, then we did 2,000, then we did 2,500, and now we're shooting for 3,000 this year because we know that hearing loss is the third leading disability among people behind diabetes and heart disease. And of course, the reason they don't address hearing loss is because it's not as life-threatening as the former two I just mentioned.
That's true, but it's life-threatening in different ways.
You're right, Barbara.
It is.
You're absolutely
Somebody
right.
says fire and you don't hear it,
From
right?
an
The
emotion-
siren is going
That's
by.
right. And from an emotional perspective, it's very detrimental.
Well, I know firsthand,
physical.
Barbara, because I have an 80% hearing loss myself, and of course I have the latest and greatest, and I've been wearing hearing aids since I was 26, so it's going to be 50 years. And the technology, oh my
Wow.
God, the way the technology has changed. They even have hearing aids now that they can program 3 phone numbers, so if a senior falls, it sends a signal to one of their loved ones so they know.
Wow.
Because that happened to my dad. He fell in Largo, Florida, and I didn't know it until the next morning. He laid on the ground all night. Didn't know it.
Yes. Yeah,
Oh
they
my
have the medical alert bracelets have
Yes.
the ability to, they know that there's a change in altitude, like a 2 or 3 foot change suddenly, which could indicate a fall.
Sure.
Those will set the alarm off.
Right.
So the hearing aids do it now too.
They do, and I'm just waiting to see what the next thing is. They've got one now that translates 16 different languages. There's
Wow.
so
Meaning that if somebody in one language starts speaking Japanese to you, your hearing aid is translating that.
right, and it even does English.
Oh my goodness.
Ooh.
That was a joke.
Might not understand that, though.
Translates English.
Yeah.
Do you think we can get the Dodger game on hearing aids?
Well, I think you'll probably have to speak to whoever is handling the Dodger games. I'm not going to mention any names, or we don't get them at home either.
Oh, yeah, that's right. So let's go through this sequence, though, Steve, of someone is listening and maybe not able to listen, but their loved one is saying, you can't hear this show. What do? They call you guys up and say, we need an appointment, we want to get screened, or they just walk in and, just
Well, they
get-
can
get
call
the
the
test
office.
done?
Gene, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut your communication there. They can call our office at 253-3277, and that's 253-EARS, E-A-R-S. And just tell them that you heard me on the radio and that you want to have your free hearing screening. I'll tell you an interesting story, sad but a good ending. Lady came into us and we checked her hearing. She had perfectly normal hearing, involved in a serious automobile accident. Airbags deployed, she lost all her hearing.
What?
Yeah. Well, they come out of there at 200 miles an hour. So anyway, to finish the story, what happened is she went to the insurance company, and of course what they said, quick to collect the premium, slow to pay the settlement. They said, how do we know it wasn't pre-existing? So she came to us, and we did another baseline screening for her, and she had, remember the old ads in Charles Atlas? With the weakling? Anyway, we showed them the before and after, and they settled with her. If she hadn't come in and got just a baseline, she probably wouldn't have gotten any settlement at all.
Wow.
So
That's
we
amazing.
encourage people to do that. So they can call us again at 661-253-3277 or 253-EARS, E-A-R-S, and we'll do a free screening. And if need be, we'll even do a speech discrimination if that's necessary, because some people can hear the sound, they just can't distinguish the sounds, the words themselves.
Now that's very interesting.
Yeah. It's mostly the consonants, the soft sounds, like
Yes.
the PH, like my middle name is Philip, so it's like Philip, and that's what we do is we test for that sort of thing. So they've got, with the software, with hearing aids these days, they've got it so they can minutely adjust them so that it meets that particular person's exact hearing loss needs.
So how do you go about testing someone for hearing? What do you put them in a room by themselves and
We
have
have two
them
booths,
talk, or,
and- yeah.
how does it work?
Sure, I'll tell you. Thanks for asking.
Good.
That's a really great question. We put them in a booth. It's about 8 by 8, and it's a soundproof booth, and then they're in communication with the audiologist. And what they do is they do different sounds, and then they can record them on what they call an audiogram, which shows if there's a hearing loss, high or low frequencies. And then to carry it a step further, we do the speech discrimination, and we'll use lists like hot dog or Dodgers or something like that, and then we can determine. A lot of times with school teachers, for example, they can hear the sounds, but because the kids talk 90 miles an hour, they can't decipher what the kids are saying.
Yes, that's true.
So we go ahead and fit them with something with that is tuned into the kids, and then they can now communicate back and forth to the kids. So it takes about 45 minutes to do that.
45
So
minutes.
the person you're testing is sitting in a room,
Mm-hmm.
and you're outside with all these fancy machines, and you have them speak.
It's an
Is that-
audiometer, and what happens is the audiologist can go ahead and press buttons and replicate sounds, and then they have to signal when they hear the sounds. If they don't signal, then we know that they don't hear that frequency.
I see.
And then we do the words, and then what we do is we'll say like hot dog, and then that person it's being tested, has to repeat the word back. And sometimes they'll miss it. You'll say hot dog, and they'll say hamburger or something like that. So then you know that they're not deciphering proper language.
Oh, that's very interesting.
Yeah, we have
So-
2 booths.
So that gives you the indication of where that hearing loss is and what type of hearing loss.
Right, because different manufacturers have, different programs that are suited for specific hearing loss. Like Starkey has a really good noise reduction, and that's a big thing, is when you're in a noisy environment, like a restaurant or a church or something like that, to reduce that noise around you so you can actually hear the person that you're talking to.
Yeah, that's always been the biggest criticism of trying to get a hearing aid, because of the distortions that the people will have, echoing and things like that. And now the science, the technology has changed a lot of that.
Well, the lower end hearing aids, what happens is it amplifies everything. Well, some sounds people don't need to have amplified. They don't need to have like an ambulance siren that's going right by them amplified, but they may need someone's voice, like their wife speaks very softly or the husband speaks very deeply and they can't understand. So what you do is you design the hearing aid program to meet the specific needs of each and every individual.
Did anybody ever come in and say, "Are you able to give me a hearing aid where I don't hear my wife or I don't hear my husband?"
Usually when the wife is out of the room.
So the big problem, of course, for those who are listening and saying it's too expensive, but there are, first of all, you get certain professional care by going to an audiologist, but also there are options as well that one can take that allow the cost to be less.
Yeah, there are certain things. The audiologist, for example, can actually do medical diagnosis, whereas there's also a thing that's called a dispenser, and a dispenser can only sell hearing aids. They take a test up in Sacramento, and if they pass it, they can dispense hearing aids, but they can't diagnose hearing loss. We've had a couple people come in where we've actually diagnosed where they actually had an acoustic neuroma, a tumor, and one of them was life-threatening, and if we hadn't discovered that, I'm not sure that the person would still be with us.
What kind of tumor?
Acoustic neuroma. It's a tumor in the inner ear.
In the inner ear. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's for sure. So that's the big thing. You want to go to a professional who knows what exactly they're doing and not just trying to sell you hearing aids, because that's not what we do. We change people's social lives. We don't sell hearing aids. And there are certain benefits that are out there. It's a little misleading with what you see on TV these days, because usually the hearing aid cost is for a low end, and if somebody has a hearing loss like mine, it's not going to make any difference in their life.
Yeah.
Well, now, big box stores sell hearing aids.
They do.
And do they have the wherewithal to test everybody?
Well, they can. The way the industry is evolving, every 6 months there's a new change in the hearing aid industry, and the big box stores have technology that's like 3 years old. So you're dealing with technology that's like 3 years old. They're competent and they know how to do the tests and that sort of
Right.
thing, but they can't diagnose any problems. Not only that, but on the insurance benefits, you're on your own. You have to contact the insurance company.
Oh, whereas
Whereas we do that. We
you
have
do
one
that.
person that's all she does. She verifies the
Ah.
benefits and looks for the best coverage for each and every individual. Because yes, hearing aids can be expensive, but then you look at the final result. What if it changed your life completely and turned it around 180? And you could now start communicating with your grandkids. I had a guy that came in one time and we fit him with hearing aids. You get a 45-day test drive, by the way, here in California. He went to Chicago and he said, "Oh my God, I could hear the grandkids."
Oh,
That's great.
wonderful. That's wonderful. And we need to take a break, don't we? Yes. I'm Barbara Cochran with my co-host, Dr. Jean Dorio, on your hometown station, 98.1 FM, AM 1220 KHTS.
If you're tired of your nail polish chipping a day or two after an expensive manicure, then you'll love the gel nail polish manicure now offered by Anne. Anne is a licensed manicurist serving the Santa Clarita Valley in Canyon Country for over 15 years. And now she's offering the gel manicure that lasts without chipping for up to 2 weeks. Log on to hometownstation.com for details on how to get an amazing deal on gel nails by Anne on Restaurant Row, or call Anne at 250-8340.
The Art Gallery of Santa Clarita Artists Association, located in downtown Newhall on 6th Street between Railroad and Main, features local members' original artwork with changing exhibits every 2 months. Purchase affordable art for your home or as gifts. Open Friday through Sunday or by appointment. Artists wishing to join the SCAA can visit santaclaritaartist.org, come to our free monthly meetings at Barnes & Noble, or stop by the gallery. For upcoming shows, check us out at santaclaritaartist.org. We make visual art visible.
Do you ever listen, but you're not really paying attention? Sort of like what you're doing to me right now. This is Alex Urbina, your advanced life coach specialist. One of the most frequent questions I hear is, what is a life coach? Well, tune in every Friday at noon to learn the value of having a coach and listen to a live coaching session on the radio. Right here on your hometown station, KHTS.
At Advanced Audiology, we know how important hearing is to you, your loved ones, your work success, your safety, and your ability to stay in the game. Most people won't admit hearing loss to themselves or others. We make it easy for you. Today's digital hearing aids come in a variety of styles, including invisible. All feature-rich, providing unparalleled hearing quality, wearing comfort, and automation that simplifies your life. Don't be fooled by our imitators. There's only one Advanced Audiology with the purple sign, next to AAA on Valencia Boulevard.
It's like no other station I've ever listened to. It's great.
Your hometown station.
Will you still need me? Will you still feed me when I'm 64?
Welcome back to the Senior Hour. I'm Barbara Cochran with my co-host, Dr. Jean Dorio, on your hometown station, 98.1 FM, AM 1220 KHTS. And we're speaking with Steve Lettau of Advanced Audiology. And I'm a little curious about, we were talking about expenses for hearing aids, and you can get cheaper ones that may work a little bit, but then you really have to get up into the more expensive ones because so much research is being done and they're improving hearing aids. Does Medicare pay for hearing aids? Because we're talking with seniors. This is the senior hour.
Mhm.
We're all seniors,
Sure.
with the exception of our little guy here, who's running the board here.
Right.
But he'll be a senior one of these days.
That's true.
And you might need hearing aids.
That's right. And what about payments?
Well, that's a really
You know.
great question because we get that question all the time. And so I've done a little research myself because I watched Joe Namath on TV and he says, covering hearing aids and that sort of thing. So I actually went on the website and actually pulled some stuff and to look at it. And it's the low-end hearing aids. You're also restricted as to who you can go to.
Oh,
You know,
Joe, I'm disappointed
Really?
in them.
Yeah, so, but because, a lot of times what happens in sales, I've been in sales all my life, a lot of times what happens is you put out information that sounds really great, but you don't put down the little asterisk that has, that sort of thing. So the way we combat that is we fit someone with the appropriate hearing aid that's going to meet their particular needs, whether it be a low end. We never try to oversell because that's not really what they need. They need what's going to give them a better quality of life. So I went to this one, and you have to go to this certain third-party administrator. They're not even audiologists. You go to them, and they send the hearing aids to the hearing aid company, and they go ahead and they fit them, but you only get like 3 visits. It doesn't necessarily include free batteries like we do. Ours is a full service. You get batteries for the life of the hearing aid. You get as many adjustments as you want. We have walk-in hours if you have a problem Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. and from 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. every single day. You know, plus we live very close to the office, so sometimes we make appointments on Saturday because some people may work in LA and can't get out here in time and that sort of thing. Whereas with Costco, you don't meet the hours.
Tough. Well, now, does Medicare cover?
Yeah,
hearing
they do.
aids?
They do cover certain hearing aids, but for someone with like myself, I mean, it would be kind of useless. You know, it only covers a certain amount of maybe $1,250 total.
Interesting.
Yeah. So there is some coverage. For someone with a minor hearing loss, it might work. But what happens if they quit working? Where do you take them?
Oh,
Because you're getting them
right.
through the mail.
That's right.
You mail them back, and then for a week you can't hear.
Yeah, there's no
You know,
professional service
There is no
No.
professional services. So with us, if you have a problem, you call, and if it's sudden hearing loss or something that needs attention right away, we'll squeeze you in.
Right. That's good to know.
Yeah.
Because those things do happen.
It does. It
You know?
makes me a little angry because it doesn't really tell the whole story, because what they're trying to do is they're trying to design a better mousetrap and maybe make people think they're getting more than they really are, which is unfortunate. You know, I feel bad about that, to tell you the truth. So I try to tell people what the truth is, and in some cases that may be the right solution.
Yeah.
If they got a minor hearing loss. But if they've got any sort of a major hearing loss, it's not going to work.
Well, now, I've heard a lot of people don't want to wear hearing aids because they're ugly. They don't want people to see these things stuck in their ears. Now, don't they have hearing aids that go inside the ear?
They do. They do have hearing aids that go inside the ear. It depends upon what the hearing loss is, but with mine, for example, it's kind of funny. You see people with these Apple hearables and things like that stick way down, and yet they won't wear hearing aids.
Like an
Now-
eardrop coming out of their ear.
Yeah, exactly. And most people, like for example, yourself, you've got beautiful blonde hair. No one would ever see it. Look at mine. This is mine right here. Goes right behind my ear. I don't have as much hair as you do, and people never say anything about it. In fact, you know what they say? Gosh, I thought those were part of your glasses.
Yeah, that's right. They look like it. That's the kind
pretty
that Russ
cool.
had.
Yeah, exactly.
Those.
Yeah. So, you know, I think that once people get used to them, it's like for me in the morning, I put my glasses on, I put my hearing aids on, I'm all set. At least I don't have to put my teeth in yet. But
Hopefully
you
it
go.
won't get to that point.
So once again, going back to those listeners who are saying, I need to have a hearing screen. You're located near City Hall at
Right.
23822 Valencia Boulevard. The phone number again is?
okay, it's Suite 103. We're right next to AAA, and the phone number is 661-253-3277 or 661-253-EARS, either one. And if you call up and make an appointment, we will get you in, and it's really a good idea to have a baseline hearing
No
so that you
doubt.
can compare with.
No.
And the address again is
23822 Valencia Boulevard, Suite 103,
103.
and look for the purple sign that says Advanced Audiology.
And the
It's
telephone.
in the Owen Patterson Troop Realty building, same building, right next to AAA.
And
Terrific.
253-3277.
That's right.
253-3277, just in case you can't hear what's saying. Steve, thanks for being on the show today. We appreciate it. Great information.
Thanks. It's always an honor to be here.
And give Nola our love.
I will definitely do that.
Okay.
Thank you.
We are sponsored by Comfort Keepers In-Home Care and Advanced Audiology. Listen to us next week on the Senior Hour. Now go and enhance your quality of life.